Today we are going to essentially, my listeners, they know all three of you by now. So we're just gonna say fuck it, and I'm just gonna ask you guys some questions, and you guys are all just gonna have a conversation. It's not gonna be like a Q&A. I don't want to keep it boring. Nobody likes boring, right? Nobody likes that shit.
Welcome to the carnival. I'm the ringleader now. Won't hear a sound at all as I bury you 6 feet underground.
I want to know 5 of the most annoying things that women do when they think that they're being sexy.
Wait, should they go grab their significant others too? So I'm not the only one in the hot seat.
No, no, it's more fun this way. No, because I'm the host, so you can call me out on my shit. You know, it's fine. I could take it. I don't know.
So 5 things that are really annoying, but women think are sexy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Why is everybody quiet? You guys scared? Jason, don't listen to it.
Well, you know, I've been married. This is 22 years, so we're so in a routine. What's sexy anymore?
Everybody got quiet.
Everybody got quiet. I mean, from a single guy's standpoint, is one of the things that seems to be a common thing now, whether they're trying to be sexy or it's just a personality trait, but like going too far with trying to be mysterious when you're dating somebody, and like for people that are attracted to effort, you become hard to want. And then I'm just, if you're not matching that level of effort that I'm putting in, then I just don't feel like I'm getting the same, it's not being reciprocated. And so then I'm just out, because if that's the way that you're going to start a dating process, relationship, getting to know each other and this and that, then that's probably going to, snowball through the entire relationship. And I don't want to be with somebody that's going to be low effort. You know what I mean? But I think some of them are trying to make it seem like mysterious and not have everything kind of exposed right off the bat, or like that they don't, like just maybe it's the game or something like that, or they put a bunch of effort in before and got hurt. I mean, it could be a million different things.
Who fucking knows? Yeah, they got trauma, they got daddy issues, they got.
But at 40 years old, like playing the mysterious game and all this bullshit is just, I ain't got time for that. You know what I mean? Like, either match, show effort and be honest, or fuck off, more or less.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, you just start out like, oh, she's sexy, she attracted me, I want to go talk to her, but then the sexy level, like she did all this work, maybe, the makeup, the look, but basically the more boring or the more, self-centered she is, that attractive meter starts going down, down, down. It's like, so you got me, but now you're not keeping me anymore. You're not bringing me back in with your, your intellect, your personality. I assume that's what he's kind of talking about too, right?
Yeah, somewhat.
Yeah, somewhat.
But that is another one though. Like, I, as a guy that's dating, single, that kind of stuff, and I don't think I'm the, minority in this sort of thought process, is like, I am far more attracted to women who are more natural, less makeup, less, I mean, I think a girl looks just as good in a t-shirt and a pair of jeans going to the fair or going to the river or going in the mountains, as opposed to the clown makeup and, I got to spend all this time on my hair because it's just you know what I mean? Like,
it's like that they took a class from a fucking clown and they're like, oh, that's how you do it.
But even when you see the cracks in their makeup, you know what I mean, on their cheeks and stuff, because it's just so thick, it's just like, that's not a good look.
It looks like the Sahara desert on their face.
Yeah.
Like got the lines and cracks and stuff. Hand me that book.
Well,
go ahead.
I would say, women are so. The one thing that just loses an appeal for me is a lot of women out there, men will tell you what we want and y'all go, That's not what you want. We tell you less makeup is better. We'd rather you be natural. We'd rather you be this, and you go, "Oh, that's not what you want." I don't know
So
how.
I do have to ask. So my ex-husband did that a lot, where he would actually tell me. I remember one time I was pregnant and I passed out at Wells Fargo, and he meets me at the hospital, and the first thing he said to me, mind you, they said I was extremely dehydrated. I had to get like 4 bags of IV fluid. And the first thing he said was, "So you didn't put on makeup today?
What?
I really would just like it if you would put on makeup more often." And I was like, yes, because that's our primary concern right now.
Right.
I'll go fuck myself.
Well, and even yesterday with my wife, both of our kids were gargantuan kids at birth. I mean, my son was 9, 14. My daughter was 10, 3. So, she made the comment the other day about how she looks. And I said, well, first of all, you aren't anything like you say you are. And 2, good Lord, you had 2 watermelon baby kids. Something's going to change.
You can't say that to a woman, though. You hear that, and all we hear when you say that, all we hear is, "I love you, even though I agree with you that you're fat." That's what we hear when you sit there and don't deny it and don't tell us we're delusional and we're crazy. You're sitting there and we're hearing, okay, he's excusing the fact that we're fat. So you're saying we are fat.
Well, the caveat to it is my wife's family is all from like the Boston area, and they are brutally honest. Fuck your feelings. It was just like, they're the type of people, they would rather get it out so how they feel and move on, versus like Southerners that hold on to it and have a grudge for years on end. They'll just get it out. And so my wife has had those brutally honest moments with me on multiple occasions.
So you're saying that you were calling her fat?
No.
See, I'm in the boat where, like, my warning label is don't ask the question if you don't want the answer.
Right there.
Like, do I look fat in these jeans? Do I look good? Should we go out? Whatever the question is, because I don't want you to lie to me. Like, if I look like a fucking idiot, tell me I look like a fucking idiot. Don't let me go outside and what I mean? But I mean,
because I'm going to wear this outfit every day. Right. If I know I look stupid and you're telling me I look fine, I'm going to wear it all the time. Now
I'll know how to get under your skin. But I mean, if you're not going to be honest with each other, I mean, why are you, I would rather have a little bit of like, I can't believe you just said that to me, than, somebody else saying something to her and then her coming home being like, I asked you if I looked okay and you told me I did and somebody else told me I didn't. Like, you know what I mean? That seems like a bigger squabble.
Because then you got to make up for them too. And you've got to sit there and be like, oh, they're just haters, and they're just and the more you lie, the harder it becomes to lie, right? You're like, fuck. You gotta cover that to cover that to cover that,
and then you get confused and lose it, forget which ones are
right. You just start saying stuff and they're like, that's not even what we're talking about.
Well, guy, you can never turn off your game. It's, like what's funny is you would tell me sometimes like, oh, you're so nice. I don't feel like you ever had to put on any game with me, that kind of thing. But it's something that every guy has to do. We just have to do. We all just do it in different ways, maybe less douchey ways. But yeah, same thing. If I can't say you ever look bad in a dress. I mean, even if you did, I'm not saying you personally, but as a guy, you can't just go around and say like, oh no, you look fat, because guy to guy, yeah, we're honest with each other. Like if you're gaining weight, I'll be like, dude, you need to hit the gym like now, like ASAP. And then like with women, you can't say that. So I'm not talking you specifically. I know no one else has their significant other here, so I'm just speaking in general.
You're supposed to just say it. You're supposed to just say it. It's real and raw, babe. You got to just go out with it.
Yeah.
If you were ever gonna insult me or say anything, Now would be the time.
No, I'm not gonna. I would never.
Now would be the
Just
time.
open up the floodgates.
I've got my
Just go for
image
it.
to uphold, you know.
No, you look beautiful. You look amazing.
I'd strangle him after the show.
But I agree too. Like, don't like the girls need to learn to stop asking the question too. If you're feeling insecure and fat, it doesn't matter what I say. You know, I mean, I can say you look beautiful, but you'd be like, oh, he's lying. Kind of
Right.
all the time. It's like, you put me in the hot seat. I didn't want to be in this hot seat. I'm here. I'm with you. I think you're amazing. I think you're beautiful. You know, it's actually back to the original question. That is actually a very unsexy thing where it's like almost like you're guilt tripping me before we go out to dinner. Like if we look, it's like, I'm with you. I love you. I think you look great. You know, like you even did your makeup. You look fancy. You got a nice dress on. Like I'm excited and ready to go. You know, and then of course, you know, maybe I didn't put in as much effort as you did. So hopefully that's not something you're holding against me. As a guy, it's a little bit easier. But you know, it's like I feel like when I go out with these nice little piece of arm candy to go out, you know, to dinner with you, which hopefully doesn't offend anybody, but it feels great having a beautiful woman on your arm. So yeah.
You're welcome.
Then of course to get the beautiful woman, I need to not be a shitbag. So
Right. It's true. Or you can be a shitbag if they're like, you know, super emotionally dysregulated.
Oh yeah.
Then the more shitty you are, the more they're like, oh my God. So what would be another thing that would be like super annoying? Something that like women think that they're like they take 2 hours to get ready, or they sit there and they say, well, you need to talk about your feelings and I have feelings. And like what's one that like really sticks out for you guys?
Well, for me, at least online, this trend of all these women doing all this ridiculous plastic surgery. There have been women that I've seen on the internet, you know, that get all the injections in their lips, and I look at them and I will literally comment and go, your lips look like, I said, your face looks like a baboon's ass.
You said that?
Yeah, I'm just like, you get these lips that are just massive, and I'm just like, who finds that attractive?
I don't know.
I guess
Not
someone's
me.
feeling history, but not real life. Kind of thing.
I don't know. I did have this one chick. She was telling me that I needed it because my upper lip is, you know, a lot smaller than my lower lip. Apparently, it's like huge, which I didn't even know. There was like, I don't know. This girl was telling me, she's like, you really need to get some lip injections on your upper lip, and I was like, I look over at her, and she's gotten so much.
Yeah.
Like her injections, because the problem is that once you start fixing things, quote unquote, fixing things on your body, you don't want to stop. It's like an addiction, right? So it's just like when you put makeup on. When you first start putting makeup on, you're going to do a little here, a little there. Next thing you know, you're sitting there and you're trying to put on purple and blue and like all the colors of the rainbow on your face, and you take away the natural beauty, right? I forgot what I was saying.
You're taking away the.
I just started imagining peacock faces.
Right. Well, you're taking away what makes you one in a million, because then you start fucking with your face and you start fucking with your body. You know, the ass deal and the, you know, I mean, sure, if you got some kids and you want to get your boobs fixed or something like that, that's a whole nother story, as opposed to like, you know, I mean. But at some point, everybody just looks like one of the fucking Kardashians or one of the Pamela Anderson. You know what I mean? And everything that made you is gone, because you just look like this like blow up doll with all that shit, with the big cheeks and this big lips and all that kind of weird ass shit. You know? Right.
Maybe a little curvier than the blow up doll, but the same idea. Correct.
Well, I mean,
so that girl, like, I look over at her and we're sitting in the car, and I look over and she has so much injected into her lips that it's like the platypus, you know, she's got like and I was just looking and I was like, it looked like her lips were trying to jump off her face. And I was like, no, I think I'm good. Because it's the same thing like with fake boobs, right? You get some implants, and then you're sitting with them for a while, and then you're like, "Ooh, I just want to go one size bigger and one size bigger," right? Because it's no longer, you get used to it, and then you're like, "Oh, no, it's not enough. I need more. I need more." and then next thing you're walking around like,
Yeah. And I mean, with that, you know, the things that maybe women think is sexy that from an emotionally healed guy or a guy that sees like a bigger picture, it would be like the liposuction kind of shit. Because if you're taking, instead of doing work to make changes to your body and your health and your nutrition and these things, and like put in the effort and taking the quick way out, how you do one thing to how you do everything. So anything that becomes difficult, you're going to try to take the quick way out, and that's a billboard sign saying that's your tendencies, that's your habits. You know what I mean? And so, like, if this relationship gets difficult, you're just going to pull the ripcord, and that's not sexy. You know what I mean?
so what is sexy, guys? What do you guys think? I know we have different perspectives. We have a man, you know, that's engaged. We have one that's married, one that's single. So get some different viewpoints on the matter. What is sexy? Is it sexy when a woman sits there and talks about her cellulite?
Well, I mean, not,
Because she's calling it out. Oh my gosh, look, oh, these shorts. Oh my God, I know. Like you compliment them, you know, oh, you look sexy in that. And then you're like, oh, but it shows my cellulite.
well, no, because
Well-
it goes from trying to give a compliment. Now I'm having to talk you off a freaking ledge.
I mean,
Kinda
it's-
like, oh, I can't ruin the
Yeah.
evening. So how to fix this surgically? Not the cellulite, but like the conversation
Right.
surgically. So they can go on with their day.
I think when women live in reality, it's sexy. Like the delusion of I look a certain way as opposed to the way that they really look. You know what I mean? And acknowledging maybe that you have things that you want to change about your body or your personality or whatever it is. But I think it's sexy when people are actively working on making those changes as opposed to just pissing and moaning about you know, like, oh my God, I got a bunch of cellulite in my ass. And it's like, well, how often do you walk or go to the gym or, you know what I mean? Do squats. I mean, are you doing anything to change it? No. Well, then, then you're just complaining, and that's not sexy.
Yeah, we just gotta be careful because that's what we say to our guy friends. You know, it's like we
Right.
complain about something like that. Well, go to the gym.
Yeah.
I think we talked
Like
about it last time that we talked, JP, about how women will sit there and they start emotionally dumping on you, right? They're like
Right.
dumping all their shit on you, and you're like, okay, but work out your shit and then talk to me, because this isn't right. So it's the same thing for anything, right? With their body, with their careers. They want to sit there, and women naturally want to be the victim, right? We don't naturally sit there and we're like, okay, we will take responsibility for our emotional dysregulation. No, we'll sit there and we'll say we're self-aware and we're
Right.
aware that we have emotions.
But you got to
then-
tell me about it every single week without making any sort of steps or plans to you know.
I'm
and
so
then it's-
self-aware as I scream at you.
Oh yeah. As I'm still like doing it every week. Like I'm so aware of the fact that my friend is doing this to her boyfriend or husband, but as I'm actively doing the same thing to you, but I'm telling you what bullshit it is that they're doing it to their significant other. You know what I mean? Like, but it took me a long time to get to where I would get in these conversations and ask, you know, do you want action or an ear? Because most of the time they don't want the solution. So you kind of just are like, you're just required to listen. You don't even need to really say anything. But as guys, you know what I mean? Like if I was off all winter because I fell off that roof and broke my foot, and you know I couldn't walk and do all that stuff. So like, if I went to one of you guys and was like, dude, I got a big ass gut all of a sudden, you know, I just been sitting around for 6 months, they'd be like, well, fucking do some sit-ups then. You know what I mean? Like, well, fucking quit eating so much. You know, I mean, like guys are just more solution based.
Well, and it's how women hold themselves to me. It's what is your attitude to just whatever life throws at you. And one of the things I'm seeing just in the world today is we're in this trend where women are going, well, we want the same things as guys want. Well, that's great and wonderful, but what you don't understand, what a lot of guys will hide from, is there's a lot more involved into what guys deal with on a daily basis that y'all don't necessarily see. And like the other gentleman on here that made the same comments, if I were with one of my guy friends and I'd gained 10 pounds, he's just like, what in the hell happened? Why have you gained so damn much weight? And for us, I mean, that bounces off like nothing. But if I were to say that to my wife, I wouldn't hear the end of it. And, I will admit in the beginning as a guy, I always wanted to fix things. And I learned the hard way for a long time that a lot of times my wife just wanted to vent. So when she comes up to me at this point, I will go, are you wanting to vent, or are you eventually wanting suggestions of things that you might do for it? Because with my ADHD brain, while she's talking, I'm coming up with like 5 or 6 different ways that she can resolve that she may or may not want. And even when she finishes, she'll look at me and I'll go, do you want my real answer or do you want a nice answer? And she'll decide, because she knows what my real answer is going to be, because I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm not going to be rude to her about it, but I'm going to be like, this is what I think the real answer is. I mean, if you get upset by it, you ask for it. So
Right.
So essentially, what I'm hearing is it's actually more attractive for a woman to just take. If they're going to sit there and ask you a question and you give an honest answer, regardless of what it is, like, yeah, you can see your cellulite in those shorts, or yeah, you put on way too much fucking makeup, or yeah, you should probably go fart in another room because they smell horrible. I have the worst farts in the world. I literally like death bombs. Poor kids. Poor Justin. Poor Justin. But for real, it is like being able to hear, right, is more attractive and sitting there and being like owning your shit, essentially.
Right.
yeah,
Instead of sitting there and saying, oh, well, you need to, because we want that. We want to be treated the same way, right? But then we get defensive and we're like, my feelings are hurt, and I don't care. You're not getting sex for a week.
Wait, no, the same way, because even like you keep talking about the cellulite thing, it's like I have never walked up to you and been like, maybe you should do more squats. But you have done that to me many times. You're like, maybe you should hit the gym. It looks like you're getting a little flat back there. Like, okay, I'll go to the gym. And I'm just like, thanks for making me aware so I can work on this. If I do it the other way, it's gonna be hell to pay.
That's not true. He thinks there's gonna be hell to pay, but I literally will be like I know I gained weight in the last month or two because we fucking moved, stress eating, all the things. So I'll sit there and I'll be like, well, my shorts don't even fit because my ass is too big and my cellulite is just like exploding out of my pants. He's like, no, you look hot. And I'm like, I don't know if you're telling me the truth, because I feel like I've gotten a little chunky monkey. Okay, I can own that shit. Why? Because I know I've been eating like a chunky monkey.
But my question is like, if you know that you've gained weight and your clothes aren't fitting, why would you need to ask him if he thinks you've gained weight too?
I know.
You already know that you have. And so like you want that reassurance or the compliment.
I do.
And then but you got it, but it always seems to get carried, you know what I mean? Like, which is normal. Everybody likes being complimented and that kind of stuff. But when it carries on for like an hour of like, oh, you're just saying that, and he's like, no, I think you look great. I mean, it really, more cushion for the pushing or whatever, you know what I mean? And then it's like, well, you're just saying that, you know what I mean? Like, just saying the compliment, like, and take the compliment and maybe not have to like go back and forth about arguing and then bickering about the compliment for the next 45 minutes,
Yeah.
Not saying that's something that you necessarily do, but it happens.
It's all right. You can just
and it's
say
not
it,
very
man.
sexy, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's crazy because is it true that the more like men don't even think about it really is more so of like what you guys were saying. It's the energy, right? It's how we carry ourselves, the confidence that we have and portray. So when we mention it constantly, we mention exes, or we mention, oh, I was hurt in this way, or I'm fat, and we bring them up again and again, like you're saying. Does that actually make us less attractive then?
Yeah.
You know,
It was very quick.
no, I would. It came off as yes, but that's wasn't what I was implying. There's what you women have to understand. There's nuances to it. It's
You women.
there's nuances to it. When my wife complains to me about something about how she looks, at the end of the day, no matter how upset, I'm still with you. I'm still sticking by your side. I'm still here dealing with this as you get on to me for an hour. I have not left. I'm not going anywhere. So what? And then, I just sit back, and it's like I've said earlier, you want the compliment, and then I give you the compliment, and then you go, oh, well, you don't mean that. Well, then why the fuck did I just say it? because I'm the type of person, if I don't mean it, I'm not going to say it to you. I mean, I'm at least at my stage of life and just everything that's going on and all that. I'm not wasting time or breath about it. And I look at my wife and I go, this year is 22 years of marriage, 25 together. You should know me by now. You should know how I'm kind of my general response to you when you ask me something. So when I tell you something, well, you don't mean that. Well, 25 years together says otherwise.
And it's
But on a attraction level, though, would you say that it does decrease your sexual word I'm looking for? Like, does it make you less
libido?
Yeah, does it make your
Less
libido less horny, baby? Oh,
does it lower your sexual ambition?
What'd you say?
Lower your sexual ambition.
Yes.
Maybe in the moment, but remember, we're guys. We'll get over that very quickly, so you can forget that.
That
But I think
makes sense.
I think at what stage you are in a relationship or marriage is going to, some of those things are going to morph, and some of those things are going to be a little bit different. You know what I mean? If I start dating a woman and say we've been dating her together for 6 months, and I've heard about her ex-boyfriend 3 times a month for 6 straight months, like, that shit's unattractive after a while. You know what I mean? After 22, 25 years of marriage, he probably hasn't heard about an ex-boyfriend or a previous relationship in 10 years. And so, like, if you're trying to, at an earlier stage, like, some of that shit is a massive turnoff. Like, are you still dwelling on the past? You know what I mean? Like, if fucking talk about him so much, then go back to him. What the fuck are you doing with me? You know what I mean? Like, those are some of the things that start to come into play. You know what I mean? But it's the same. It would be the same as if, I constantly talked about exes to my new girlfriend. They're just going to be like, well, if you fucking can't get over them, then go back to them. You know what I mean? At some point, it's not attractive. It's not.
My therapist that I used to have, she used to call it explaining over excusing, because you can explain the situations, right, so that people can understand. Well, not, but anybody, even with, your kids or anything,
Right.
I'm a firm believer in talking about shit, right? Even if with your kids, like, you don't have a filter with your kids, because then you hold back because you're trying to protect them and then they hate you. So, but when we're talking about relationships, it's like, you just got to be honest with it and explain it, but you don't excuse it. You don't sit there and say, well, I'm allowed to do this, and I'm allowed to be like this, and I'm allowed to make you the victim because I've been there, or I'm allowed to make you the villain because I've been through some shit, right? So that is, I think that's one of the biggest things that we as women, we do tend to do, right? So then we put up these walls and we say we're strong, independent women, and we're just not into men, and I don't have time for a man. And it's really, you just don't have time to let your walls down and be vulnerable, because then you actually have to work on your shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you basically have to start each relationship like it is new. I think that's scary for especially a lot of women. It's like
Yeah.
that's really unfair to the new guy. It's like, well, these last 10 guys were awful, but then the 11th guy's like, well, I wasn't there for that. So it's like,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not gonna
Right. Why am I serving the jail sentence for a crime I didn't commit? You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't cheat on you. So your reaction to this situation has nothing to do with me. I was golfing all day. But, I wasn't at a Coldplay concert with the fucking HR lady, like I was just at golfing all day or whatever. But like, yeah, I mean, it's all a learning curve. I mean, some guys, it's going to depend on some of the guys' baggage and trauma and this and that to what irks them more than other guys or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, definitely guys do it too, where they're like, like compare oh, women suck, and then they go into every relationship just, their foot halfway out the door. I mean, men do it too. It's just that I guess everybody has to learn. It's like, well, if you want to do the effort and be vulnerable in a relationship, then you basically have to hit the reset button every time and just go out there, and you might get hurt, you might strike out, but otherwise you'll just be alone and then with a strong, independent woman the rest of your life and end up with cats, later.
I think one of the biggest things that I always say is if you're going to sit there and call somebody emotionally unavailable, it's more so likely that you yourself are emotionally unavailable. It's we diagnose other people so that we don't have to look at our own shit, but most of the time what we're seeing is mirrors of our own shit.
Right. Projecting on
And
others.
Yeah.
If you want an emotionally mature man or woman, you yourself have to be emotionally mature to be able to take it.
Right.
And
Right.
if you can't, you're never going to get there.
But if we can label the guy and just say, oh, they're emotionally unavailable, then we get to have all these X's and O's of emotionally unavailable people. And then we get to sit there and be like, see, we're just really aware. And
Yeah.
you guys, you just don't measure up. Right. And then you sit there and you give people, I talked to this one girl and she was talking about how she had a list of requirements for someone. And I was like, that's the biggest bunch of BS I've ever heard. Because when you go on a date, you're going to tell me that you tell them, oh, I have a list of requirements that you have to. You're telling them, this is what I expect of you.
Right.
And yeah, and then what they're just gonna sit there and be like, oh yes, almighty. No, they don't give a
Right.
fuck. They're gonna sit there and be like, fuck off, bitch. I'll go on to another one. They're not
fucking
gonna sit
crazy.
there and make it
Yeah.
a challenge. But I think that's what we think, right? We're like, oh, we're showing them that we have standards. No, you're showing them that you're incredibly insecure.
I'm going to
Well,
make you change into this person on this list.
What?
I said the longer your list for your expectation, then your resume better be pretty damn good.
Right.
Oh, you want this from a guy? Okay. Like, what do you have that's like equivalent to that to meet the guy on the equal playing field? So
Well, and it's like, do you actually ask him? Do you ask him, what is your list? What kind of list do
Right.
you have? What kind of things, what kind of expectations? And do you actually listen to them? Or are you sitting there and you're thinking about your next question or your next response instead of just sitting there in the moment with what you're talking about? It's
Well,
learning about somebody with intention, right?
Well, what that list does is it gives them an easy out. So if you don't fulfill one of those things at
Yes.
any one point in time, it gives them an out. And then on the other hand, with these women that bring all these lists of, well, I've got to have a 6 foot tall man that makes six figures and, whatever the standard is, when the men then come back and say, well, I want a woman that's X, Y, and Z, a lot of those same women get offended. Well, how could you do that? I don't need to. Why are you giving me all these specific rules that I've got to follow, but yet I can't say the same thing? This is supposed to be a partnership, whatever that may mean to you. And if you're demanding this, and I can't at least ask for some of the basic things that I feel is necessary in a relationship, then we might as well just part our ways.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
with that,
Exactly.
like there's a deal, with the same sorts of people that would probably have a lot of those lists or are trying to Frankenstein a partner out of all of their past relationships. Well, he had the height, he had the money, he treated me this way, he had the stat, whatever the case may be. And men do the same thing. She had this look, this body, I'm sure that but the main character's mindset is one of those things that, it would come off like you think that they would be attracted to your partner, but it's probably like, to me, it's not. And I would say, the majority of people probably not. Like, if you have to be the center of attention in every single situation, whether your part, like if you go to a function that his work is putting on, and it's like a Christmas party or a banquet or a dinner or a golf fundraiser, whatever the case may be, but you have to be the center of attention, even knowing it's his colleagues and it's his deal, instead of being his support system to make him look good and be a caring partner. But you have to be the center of attention, and everybody that's at the event needs to pay attention to you. Like, that's, being the life of the party is one thing, but like having to be the center of attention and having to be the main character isn't necessarily that attractive.
It's basically saying that I need all the attention and you're not allowed to get the attention.
Right.
Actually, I did go with her like at one of her business meetings, and I think I handed out her business cards. I laughed at some of her jokes. I was like, "Did you need another drink?" It's like I was her support role.
He was my emotional support fiance.
But
well, it have to be the life of the party.
When you're talking about main character energies, like I guess we should be trying to do a co-op energy, right? Where we're doing a co-op campaign, not the main character. We're not all NPCs around the one person. So
yeah, I don't really get that. The whole main character energy. It's like, okay, I get it. Like, you need to be the main character of your own life. But when you have that perception, what people forget is that there has to be a balance. So then you're sitting there and you're saying, I'm important, I'm valued. And then the guy's sitting there and saying, I'm fucking valued and important too, bitch, the fuck? And then they emotionally shut down. And then they're telling you, like, it could be even somebody that you're dating. And then all of a sudden they're like, actually, I'm just not ready for a relationship. And you're thinking, oh, I knew it. When really you're the one that actually pushed them away because you were so busy talking about what you needed and what your demands were, right? And going off your checklist all the time, that you didn't let him be emotionally available. You didn't give him the space to feel comfortable, to be emotionally available, to be the center of attention. I have to force him to go shopping because he starts trying to shop for me when we go shopping for clothes. I have to tell him no. Like yesterday, he's like, no, I don't actually want to go shopping. No, we're going fucking shopping. And he felt so good afterwards. And then we found these boots, like what were they? They were Timberland. Timberland boots, like $200 Timberland boots. Since we need good boots out here. And he was like, these are going to be new boots that are going to be work boots. That okay? Yes, it's absolutely okay. Just spoil yourself. Like, you spoil everybody else, spoil the shit out of yourself, And he was still trying to, like, well, let's look at something for you and let's do this, right? Because is that something that men do? Is they do focus on, I need to do this for you and provide for you. And then you guys kind of put yourselves and your own needs back on the burner. And then guys end up like exploding essentially every now and then, right? Because they're like, well, I'm always dealing with your shit. What about mine? And it just comes out of fucking nowhere, right? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, and that comes down to communication. Ultimately is what that comes down to. We, the guys on here, we all agree, we've been taught to be providers in the foundation and to provide for our families or our significant others. It's ingrained in us. You may one of these days call it toxic masculinity if you really want to call it that. But I mean, we're the head of the household, so to speak. That's what we're meant to do. And I mean, I can tell you multiple times my wife has gone out and done things for herself. And like the last time we went to the outlet malls around here, she's just like, you never buy yourself anything. What do I wear outside of what I'm currently wearing? What do I really need? I don't need to go to a store and buy 10 different pairs of shoes like you might. I mean, I just, I wear for what I do for work, I wear the same 5 or 6 outfits literally all the time. And so
But there is something about new clothes. I don't care if you're a man or woman. You get that feeling. You can't tell me you don't. When you guys put on that new shirt or the new pair of pants or the fucking new shoes and you're walking around in them, it doesn't even have to be something like extravagant. It could be something from Walmart. To you guys,
I
a
own
new
like 6
thing,
shirts
it's
and
like
7 pairs of pants.
that new clothes feeling. What?
I own like 6 shirts and 7 pairs of pants. Like,
That's about me too.
but
It's true, but he's the same way. He is very, very low maintenance about that. But I see this glow about him. Anytime that he does buy something for himself, I see this like shift in his confidence where he just like he's all, wow. Like yesterday, he was like, wow, these pants are really comfortable. I was like, see, it benefits to not have to wear the old tattered jeans sometimes.
I mean, I'm happy when I leave, but the first half hour I'm in the store, I'm convincing myself, like, it's okay. Like, my other 7 pairs of jeans are fine. Why am I buying more clothes? I'm like, okay, it's okay. I haven't bought new pants in like 3 years. I guess I get a pair or two. Or even like my work boots are like 12 years old and the soles are cracked. I'm like, okay, I should probably, for the the benefit of my feet, get new shoes. Even though they're functional, they could be better. So like, okay, I get a pair of nice new
The
shoes.
new clothes feeling.
I burn through boots like crazy, but like I've always had messed up feet, so I've always had to take care. I've always had to be conscious about boots and shoes, like, and so like I have certain boots I have for the summertime, certain boots I got for the wintertime, that kind of stuff. But like, I mean, I sat there with a wallet that was hanging on by a thread for 5 years because I was just like, well, it still works. I mean, one day it's gonna break in half, and I'm not gonna notice. I'm gonna lose half my stuff laying on the floor of a store or something. But for now, it's still fine. You know what I mean? But that's just my daughter has a lot more stuff than I do, but I don't need a lot of stuff. If I have what I need, and that works for me. But I will say that most guys are not ever used to getting things. You know what I mean? Like, when my daughter gets me presents, she's got me this stuff for Father's Day and stuff like that. And like, over the last 5-6 years, I think my daughter's like the only presents I've really received were from my daughter. And so like, guys just don't get that sort of same, response of, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to buy, surprise you, buy you a shirt. And it's, it always meant a lot more when I was with somebody and they were like, yeah, I bought you this shirt. You know what I mean? And then it's like, then you get that glow big time because you're like, oop, fuck, I got a new shirt. You know what I mean? Like, she got me a button-up shirt. I'm gonna wear this thing all the time.
Well, and some of this stems from the fact that a lot of guys are still defined by what they can provide for everybody else and not for themselves. Mm-hmm. It comes from that. Because what good is a man that cannot provide? Right. I mean that's kind of what it comes down to. So,
well, it sounds kind of like men have the same kind of problem as women, then, right? Because like you're saying that if they don't have that, then what do they have, right? So women have the same issue where they're like, well, if I don't do this and I don't, maintain my physical appearance, if I gain weight, then he always told me I look beautiful and gorgeous. So in our minds, it's kind of like the same thing where if we don't have the external beauty that were the things that he said that he liked most about you, right? Then what do I have
less worth?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a insecurity thing where we're thinking we don't have any value if we don't have these qualities, when in fact we don't have value because we are telling ourselves we don't have value.
So we're all insecure.
So we're all just insecure fucks. Yeah. Yeah, essentially. People with fancy cars, fancy houses, whatever it is, you're insecure. You don't buy stuff for yourself, you're insecure. Everybody has insecurities. They just project and show in different ways.
Yeah, the social
Right.
media ruined it for everybody. Everybody thinks, oh, everybody's rich, everybody's beautiful. No one knows what normal people look like anymore, or act like anymore. Not everybody's got
It's a
boys.
comparison thing. I
It's
think it comes
some
down
of it's
to just a
conditioning.
comparison.
Like the keeping up with the Jones. Like I don't, I don't have that tick of keeping up with the Joneses. Like I don't have a car payment, and I have a modest house, and I dress modestly, and I don't do a lot of stuff because. But at the same time, if I look at somebody that's got a brand new Denali Duramax and a big 4-bedroom house, like I see the payments that they're making. I don't see like success. I see the guaranteed bills every month. And so like to me, somebody who's got, 6 figures in their investment and bank account and drives a 2003 Duramax and lives in a modest house and has no credit card debt and not all this like stuff to impress people they don't care about is more successful than somebody who's 40, 50, $150,000 in debt on top of their house because of the credit cards and the RVs and all these different toys. Like, but if you're attaching your self-worth into a bunch of payments and a bunch of stuff to impress other people, then it's all fleeting anyway, because, if the stock market crashes or we go into a recession, I mean, all that stuff's going back to the place that you got it from, because they're going to come and repo it all like they did in 2008.
I think it's really just enjoying who you are, how you are intentionally in every moment. Like, yeah, he might like you today and not like you tomorrow. You have no fucking control. That's why we make lists. That's why we, put on makeup for hours, because we think that we can control somebody else if we do these things. But in actuality, all we're doing is just showing our need for control, right? So it's just enjoying what we have in the moment with intention and just letting that be your present happiness.
Well, and as the old wise ass on the panel who's been married forever and a day, the longer you're in a relationship, what you value evolves. It's kind of like when you're younger, you're going out partying, and your night starts at like 9 o'clock, and you're out till 2, 3, 4 in the morning. If you told me now that my night started at 9 o'clock, I would have to take a nap that afternoon, and then I probably wouldn't make it to midnight, just because. And then, the other thing, and some of the other things I do, I tell people all the time. I said this notion that relationship between you and your significant other are 50-50 is bullshit. And what I mean by that is, with my wife and I, it changes every day, and sometimes it changes multiple times throughout the day. So, for example, if we get up in that morning and my wife's just not feeling it, just doing daily life, and she's at 20%, well, I have to be 80. And then at some point in there where she starts feeling better and doing normal things, and she fluctuates back to about 50, then I can drop down to 50. Or if I'm not feeling it, I'm in at 10, and she's got to be 90 at that point. But it always fluctuates on what you are in that relationship. And, that's one of the things that's kind of gotten us through all the crap we've dealt with over the years, is that some days I have to pick up more slack because my wife's just not feeling it. And then, there are days she's had to do that for me.
So it's a give and a take.
Definitely. Like I said, this idea of 50-50 is just crap.
Yeah. Yeah. I would definitely have to agree. You're awful quiet over there. What's up?
Oh, I'm being a good listener.
I just had to wake him up, guys. He's sleeping. It's that silent snore over here.
There definitely are days where it's like, especially if you're hurt and you're trying to hide, it's like, you just gotta let me know, because there's gonna be days where I do need to pick up the slack. And I think well, I think I'm guilty of it too, where we just expect the other person to know that either I'm feeling bad or I'm feeling shit.
Oh, I think everybody does that.
Yeah, it's like
we just think we automatically think that everybody's listening with it, that our significant others especially are listening to every single word we say. And then we're sitting there and we're like, no, you should have just known that I was upset. You should have just known that when I said that I didn't want to fucking talk right now, I was dealing with something and I needed a hug and I needed you to talk to me anyway. You should have just known that. Like, no, the fuck we shouldn't have.
Right.
Use your
I thought
fucking
we were
words
partners. I
like a
thought we
big
were in this
girl or a
together.
big boy.
I thought we were in this together. Don't you read my energy by now?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, don't you know how I'm
Did you
feeling?
feel
just
my
by-
aura?
Yeah, right, all that stuff. But it's,
I don't need to feel a level of mystery anymore. It's like we've combined our lives. I need to know the schedule. It's like I don't need to. You don't need to be mysterious and sexy in the corner. It's like, do you need me to make dinner? It's like, are you not feeling well? It's like,
Oh, I do that. I do that. I will sit there. I mean, and that's part of it is just owning your shit. And I have sat there and I will get so fucking pissed off at him when he sits down and he's relaxing and I'm fucking, we have 6 kids between the two of us and it's summer break and all the kids have been giving me hell all day. And then he sits down and he's like, oh, maybe I'm just going to go take a nap. What the fuck did you just say you're going to do?
how dare you have some self-care?
How dare you take care of yourself? And then, he calls me out, which is one of the reasons why I love him so much. Because he'll sit there and he'll be like, I didn't tell you couldn't take a nap today. How the fuck am I supposed to know the kids were assholes? And I'm like, fair enough.
Well, and
Like, yeah, why didn't you just ask me to make dinner tonight? I'm like, well, I guess I
I mean, I can make hamburger helper or something.
stop it. We are not eating hamburger helper. That's not going to happen.
Well, hopefully, when the kids go back to school, you can get all the naps. So.
All the naps.
Well, and on the other end, because of my son being nonverbal, I've gotten very good at reading body language, and my wife absolutely hates it. Because she can be sitting there and I'll look at her and go, I know something's on your mind and I know you want to talk about it, but I'll sit here and wait till you finally get the courage to come over and tell me what I already know. Stop doing that. There's nothing I need to talk about. I said, well, your body's saying otherwise.
He does that to me too. And I'll be like, I didn't say I need to talk. He's like,
But you
gives me
do.
this look sometimes and I'm like, who the fuck does this guy think he is? And then I'll like walk away, storm away, angry as fuck, go back, 30 minutes later and I'm like, I'm sorry I was being an ass.
I mean, I totally,
You're not my punching bag.
I totally pout and have my moments too. But usually for me, is I just wander off and just do something on my own, and then
which is more infuriating because when you guys can sit there and just walk away when we're upset, we're like, no, you're supposed to match our energy. You're supposed to be upset right now too.
You to
You're
get
not
emotionally
supposed to
erratic
be
as well.
calm, cool, and collected.
Because men can easily go to thinking nothing and we like it.
Fucking assholes. I know. Whereas we sit there and we overanalyze everything. Your moment of silence is us in our heads spiraling, thinking he doesn't care. He doesn't care about our emotions. And really, we're just talking ourselves into another meltdown because we can't just sit with the fact that he's a man and he's moved on from the situation. Or he just doesn't want to fucking talk about it right now. Let him not talk about it. And then you guys can talk when you're both more regulated. But for us, we're like, no. What are you saying? I'm dysregulated right now? Huh? You saying I have an issue? Oh, so I should go in the insane asylum?
But some
I'm
of that
being
not caring is, like,
emotional.
if I feel myself getting angry or feel like I might say something that I'll regret, I will like turn on the apathetic. I don't care. Like
He does.
I might even do this physically with my hands when you're not looking. Like, okay, just turn it off. Just gonna go. Even if it takes an hour, 5 hours, I'm gonna wander off so I don't do something stupid. It's better for me just to shut my mouth and go be alone for.
I'm going to put
bit.
nanny cams up so I can see him do these things.
It's like, but yeah, sometimes I have to turn it off because like I feel like if I feel like I'm going to the point where it's like, oh, I might do something I regret, then I will just shut down because I'm preserving our relationship in my own sanity kind of thing.
You guys are nodding. Are you guys in agreement right now? Or are you like, yeah, man?
Well,
Power to the people, bro.
I will say is when I'm in a situation like that, in my head, I'm thinking, is this the hill I want to die on today? And if it's not, and we joke about men earning brownie points with their significant others, but if I'm gonna make a mistake that I'm gonna use brownie points for, I'm gonna make it worth my while, and it ain't gonna be over this.
Gonna die today. Oh, that's so awesome. All right, with that, guys, we do have to wrap things up because it's getting to be that time. But thank you so much for joining, guys. We'll have to have you all on. Maybe we'll add some more guys on here. We'll just make it like a whole little talk show. It'll be great. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
having us.